Today we're going to try something a little bit different. We're actually going to draw. So we're going to work on some pages. I just wanted to say thank you all so much for the tremendous support of Hex, which is our current title on Kickstarter right now. We're in our last week. We've received a ton of backing, a ton of support, and we are eternally grateful. So let's jump into it.
Hey, what's up everybody? Isaac Bell here, and I am working on some new MetalShade pages, which is just about my favorite thing to do. So life is good at the moment. So at the top there, you can see I have an establishing shot, and the characters in this scene are going to be Riplock, Cryptor, Shrine, and Aaron Thorne. And this is the first time that we're gonna see them really interacting with each other, having a conversation, and we're gonna start to figure out the dynamics between these characters. And you know, it's kind of crazy. When I started making these comics, like, I had no idea what the heck I was doing, and I had a very low resolution idea of what my overall story and plot were gonna be. And you know, at this point I have it all figured out, which is great. I think maybe in those early issues I was avoiding this conversation, you know, these characters interacting and having to show my cards as far as their, like, you know, the details of their personalities and what their dynamics will be, because that's really important stuff, you know. And that's one thing that'll ruin a comic, is when all the characters have kind of cardboard personalities. Maybe they all kind of just sound like the same person, that type of thing. So I've spent a lot of time figuring out who these characters are, what their personalities are, what their beliefs are, and what's motivating them, you know, what's driving them, and what's at the core of, you know, what they're about, basically.
All right, I'm gonna try to show you guys some of my tricks. You can see me drawing in that figure in the top left-hand corner. That's Riplock there. And when I'm crowded like that and I don't have much space, it helps me a lot to just bring that figure. You'll see I'm gonna do it in a second. I'll bring the figure to the middle of the canvas and get rid of all the noise around it, and it just lets me probably focus better on that. So I'll just finish this guy up and then put him back up in his spot. And this is one of the reasons that I love working digitally. It allows you to, and you'll see also me constantly adjusting proportions and things like that, just instantly, you know. And that's very helpful for me because I'm bad at, like, nailing the proportions in the first go. So it does save me from a whole lot of erasing and redrawing. So you can see here, a lot of times I like to just throw my reference right on the page there. And if I'm having trouble with a face, or if it's just a female face that needs to look good, like, a lot of times I'll throw some sheet of face angles down there to help me with that. And now throwing in her design so I can get her costume correct. And yeah, you can see this is kind of my method. Like poses, like action poses, jumping through the air type of stuff, like, or just like all the poses you see in that top panel. Those are all kind of like almost, I don't want to say generic, but there are kind of like common superhero poses that we all learn first because they're fun and they look cool. And those are the ones that kind of just stick in your head and you can just draw them out of nowhere. But there are a lot of, like, more normal type of scenes or situations that you will have to draw that you won't feel as comfortable with. Like, it's probably a lot more difficult to draw two people sitting at a diner having a conversation than it is to have, like, some superhero jumping off a rooftop in some crazy dynamic pose that you would never see in nature. And that's just because that's the fun stuff. But for those diner scenes, which are important for sure, definitely grab some reference. So I see a lot of people online are very opposed to using reference. You can see I'm using it here. Like, right there on the page, I'll throw some head angles on the page to help me. And there's a little scene there where I have Cryptor's hand on Shrine's shoulder. And that's one of those just, like, super simple, normal things that we see happen all the time. But let me see if I can find it. But I did find some reference for that. And I think it's like, it's so easy to just for your scenes like that to just find something on the internet to help you along. And I think people need to be doing that, because I see that in comics where the heroic scenes look really cool, and then when you have a more mundane scene happening, it looks terrible. So yeah, get some reference. And for me, the other one is definitely hands. Like, there are a few hand poses that I do without reference, like fists, or you can see there, like Cryptor's hand there on the ground. I don't think I ended up grabbing reference for that one up in that top panel. But I just take a picture of my own hand for the most part. I just pose it, or I'll get Alexa. But I even use my own hand to reference for female hands too. It doesn't really matter. So I'm also a big proponent of certain tutorials. I think Dave Finch is one of the best. He has a series with the Gnomon Workshop that's been really great. And you can actually go to their website. You can get a free 3-day trial or something, and you have access to all their tutorials. And I have learned a whole lot from those things. And of course, Dave Finch has a bunch of free stuff on YouTube, and he also has classes on Skillshare, I think is the site. So I learned a lot from him and a lot of others. Actually, the first tutorial I ever got completely changed my life, basically, was Stephen Platt's Gnomon Workshop DVD, or Gnomon Workshop, however you pronounce that. Love that thing. Have it to this day. I went from being a terrible artist to a slightly less terrible artist, but at the time that was like a huge deal for me. So I love Stephen Platt, his message. One of the things he said in that DVD was, if you want to be a comic artist, if you want to make comics, just start making comics. And I actually took that to heart, and I've done that, and it's been of great benefit to me. I've been able to build a career off of it. So yeah, words of wisdom. All right, everyone, I'm gonna go ahead and let this play out. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. I will say that I personally am very thankful that I have a viewership, that I can put these videos up, and I have people who check them out. Means a lot to me, actually. So thank you all, and I will see you all again real soon in the next video. Peace.
My